Greetings, my name is David Bertram. I recently joined the Construction Management Department of Philadelphia and Thomas Jefferson University as a new adjunct instructor, and with this video I'd like to share a little bit about my academic and professional backgrounds. Both my time in the academic world as well as with professional practice has always been involved in either design and/or construction to some degree. As an undergraduate art student, I studied sculpture, working with wood, metal, plastics, and plaster. This period was followed by about 6 years as a carpenter, which I'll share more about, and then I returned to school to complete my master's degrees in both architecture and construction management. And during this time, as an architecture student, I studied hand and computer-aided drafting, physical model building. You could see one of my pieces there at the top right from my graduate time. And, of course, computer rendering. As a construction management student, I studied scheduling, cost estimating, job site management. Currently, I am a full-time instructor at the Community College of Philadelphia in their architecture, design, and construction programs. We have several different majors, and they interestingly share classes. Many architecture design students sharing classes with construction students. If I had any complaint about my time in graduate school, it was that while I was pursuing my construction and my design degrees, those two schools never really communicated much with each other. At the community college, we have a very, I think, a great setup where early in their education, students are sitting next to construction students, design students, facility management students, building science students. And I think it just makes for a richer experience. And this is an issue that I'm very sensitive to and we'll be probably discussing throughout our time together. So as you can see from the classes that I teach at CCP, they sit with both design and with more construction-based programs. Before arriving at CCP, I taught at Drexel in their construction management program as well. A fabulous experience, a lot of great students I came to meet and work with. Some classes that I have taught there. And all along in professional practice, now I am a practicing architect, a one-man band. I specialize in small residential remodeling and renovations. I team with contractors and engineers, typically residential or small commercial. Prior to this, I worked for a small firm that did a lot of municipal work. I had about 14 coworkers. We did a lot of great projects that I'll share with you in a moment. Prior to that, I worked at a much larger firm, probably about 140 coworkers doing large residential developments, a very different experience in terms of firm culture, great projects as well. And as I mentioned prior to that, I was a carpenter for many years. Here, we'll look at a couple images from my time as a timber wright. I worked as a carpenter for about 6 years between undergraduate and graduate school. The first 3 doing modestly sized residential renovations, kitchens, bathrooms, trim, additions, and the like. And the second half, I found myself in the mountains of western North Carolina working as a timber wright. By chance, traveling kind of took me here, and it was just a very unique opportunity to work on some really large projects. And this is a time when I started to work around architects as well. And again, my love of design kind of kicked in again, and this is what led me back to graduate school. So up in the mountains, we were building second homes for very wealthy clients. Here you could see the foundation going in at a mountaintop property. And here are the timber frame going up. I will share much more about this project and my passion for timber framing when we get to that, of course. I did not work as a timber wright in the shop, actually cutting the frames. I worked as a site carpenter, erecting the frames. I worked on custom concrete forms, sheathing the frames in structurally insulated panels, windows, doors, interior partitions, all aspects of casework and finish carpentry. Really staying on the job site pretty much from start to finish, which was an invaluable experience for me. Some beautiful finishes. hydronic heating in the floor. It goes, I think, without saying that my firsthand experience of carpentry really contributed just immensely to my understanding of it, which is great. However, I must admit and also say at the same time that I've never personally erected steel, laid stone, installed a curtain wall, or anything like that. So my understanding of these processes is different. It comes from books, drawings, photographs, and just job site observation. Nothing hands-on. So this all goes to say that I do understand that many design and construction students will never work at a building trade in a professional capacity, and I do understand the challenges of attempting to learn complex, hands-on procedures and detailing through words, text, photographs. Here are some images of a project from my time working as a project architect for a larger firm. This is a municipal facility. This would have been my first serious exposure to working with structural engineers as well as mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, where I was in a position where I had to start managing all of the different players and figuring out architecturally how we would accommodate their needs. Here are some beautiful interiors of that same building. A big step for me at this time was also beginning to work with clients directly and put together palettes of interior finishes, so carpets, the interior stonework, the panels here behind the dais, custom fabric with an aluminum inset. Here's another project, an environmental center. This one I managed all of the LEED paperwork, that entire process, which added to it a whole nother layer of coordination with mechanical, electrical, and plumbing in particular. And we will be discussing the LEED process in our class. And one last project. This is a large dorm renovation. It was a 6-story concrete structure, about 50 years old, in dire need of a second life. The entire building was gutted except for the structure, all the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, everything taken out, and we started from scratch, just working within the existing structure. I added, because it's a renovation, just a whole different challenge, and a very, very potentially profitable and busy niche in some markets. Here in Philadelphia, there's a lot of old building stock, and I just personally find them to be very interesting. So this is a little bit about myself. I hope you enjoyed getting to know me, and I look forward to working with and getting to know each of you. Thank you.